Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm great. Very well indeed.
Good. Well, you look very chill. We were just, before we hit record, talking about breath work and a few other subjects, and it looks like you look nice and grounded right now.
I feel very chill.
Good. Well, Tim, tell me what's going on.
Well, you asked if we wanted to share about the 30 days of no sex, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I lasted 3 days. So basically, the backstory to this. So as you may or may not know, Amelia and I are working with a lady to further deepen our connection and intimacy, which is exciting. We had our first session last Thursday. And she said, right, are you guys open to a challenge? I was like, of course I'm open to a challenge. Right, I'd like you to have no sex for 30 days. And the signal cut out a little bit when she said it. And Amelia got it. But my knee-jerk reaction was, what? Like, instant. And her and Amelia just burst out laughing because the whole session, it was like the fastest I'd moved. And he said, yeah, no sex for 30 days. Can you do that? I was like, yeah, easy. Getting to bed last night. Amelia looks at me as she does. She says, are you a good student? I'm like, I know where this is going. No. I can be a bad student. And it just unfolded from there. So today's day one, which is great. So yeah, it's a really interesting experience. I mean, lots is coming up for me at the minute with the work that we're going through. Just curiosity and questions that are natural as you cycle through phases and seasons of growth with the woman you love. A lot around appreciation and acknowledgement, because my love languages are words of affirmation and physical touch, which I think are Amelia's fifth and fourth, and hers are quality time and acts of service, which are my fourth and fifth as well. So it's this delicate dance to make sure that we meet one another's needs. And a pattern that I've had in the past is I almost tell myself this victim story, if you will. And that story is what, she should appreciate the effort that I go to more. And let's say that, I am working longer in the Powerful Man, for example, or I'm feeling the stresses and the strains of growing the company and everything that goes with it, and being the main breadwinner in the household, all that kind of stuff as we plan all these trips and buy the house and all the things, right? It's just life at the end of the day. And what I have done in the past is I can go into a pattern of, she just doesn't see how hard I'm working. She should see the effort that I'm putting in. If only she knew what I'm having to deal with. And the fact of the matter is, it's my dream, first and foremost. I'm the one that has chosen this lifestyle for myself. She's not saying to me, hey, go and run a business. She's not saying to me, hey, go make more money. She's not saying anything, right? I am the one creating the rules. I'm the one that's living his dream. And instead of remembering that and owning that and having joy and gratitude around that and excitement, which, I do, and at the same time, I'm human. There's emotions that come up, right? So instead of going back to those emotions, when I go into that pattern of, it's almost like a child, like throwing toys out of the pram. Like, give me some attention. Give me a pat on the head. Show me that I'm a good boy. It's like that tendency, which I know repulses, if you will, repels a woman, because it's almost like, well, I'm doing it to gain her approval. I'm doing it to gain her attention, rather than knowing who I am, being grounded, and quietly just getting on with the thing I do because it's part of who I am. So in this moment, I've been really curious, questioning, okay, well, if my love language is a words of affirmation, physical touch, if I'm not feeling like mine have been met, well, am I giving Amelia hers? Am I taking care of my side of the street like we've spoken about in the past? And am I meeting Amelia's? And these things that I'm doing, like, for example, there's a movie that's just come out, and Amelia loves animals, right? And I've been watching it, waiting for it to come out for about 2 weeks. Tickets went on sale, bought them immediately, and I said, right, Amelia, I've got 2 tickets to the cinema. See this film, would you like to come? She's like, yeah, I'd love to do that. I said, boom, conversation over. And same with the massage. She's been wanting a massage. So on Friday, we've got this body MOT booked in where we're getting mobility tested and massages together and other bits and pieces. And it's just like, oh, thanks. Because gifts isn't her love language. And words of affirmation isn't her love language. But then it's, for me, again, I get to reflect, well, why am I doing that? Am I doing it because I love her and I simply want to give her these things? Or am I doing it out of a space of showing, hey, I can do this for you. Give me some recognition back. Hey, I can do this for you. I'm doing this so I get something from you, right? Because really, if I'm owning my space and we're having that higher level of relationship where her needs are my needs, then you do these things out of pure joy and love for the person without needing anything in return. So yeah, there's a lot of great things that I'm learning and, well, relearning really, and curiosities that I'm playing with that are coming up around this. It's fascinating. I'm so grateful to be in this position where I can see these things come up and not get sucked in or not react, and not fire the trigger, the loaded bullet of the gun. I don't press the trigger and it fires off and you get into an argument. So I'm super grateful to be in a position where I can hold space and reflect and see it. And I think a lot of that goes to the Alpha Rise and Shine routine and the other work that we've done, living the system, basically. And the other side is having people around me like you and Arthur, of course, that I can turn to and bounce ideas off and ask questions of and so on and so forth. So I'll let you chip in at this point, Doug, because I'm taking this away.
You're doing a great job. There's so many things I'd love to unpack here that I think are great for the guys, level 1, 2, and 3 relationships, commitments, things like that. But let's take it down to a more basic, not more basic, I guess, but why do you think this coach gave you that challenge? 30 days, no sex. You hire if I can share a little bit, because I know who this person is, but if you hire an intimacy coach, someone to work on intimacy in your relationship, which I commend you for, by the way. It takes a lot of guts as a man to really want to take that journey with your partner when things are going well, to go, I want to go even deeper, which is awesome. So commend you for that, as I said. But why do you think she threw out the, hey, Tim, hey, Amelia, will you take a 30 days no sex challenge?
Well, she said the reason, I asked the question, I'm like, where's the relevance of this? And she said, well, the reason for this is so that over the next several weeks, I'm going to be introducing you to new practices of intimacy, so that when you guys do choose to have sex, it's going to be a completely different experience for you guys. With all the attachments and routines of old, they ought to fall away. Now, you can do anything, you can play with one another, you can have foreplay, you just can't reach the point of ejaculation with one another or climax with one another. And you can't have penetrative sex. So that was the reason she said it. Although, obviously, in terms of intimacy, as soon as you say you can't have sex, it can sometimes then make you just want to have more sex, right?
It's like a teenager, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there is that side of it as well.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. And when you think about intimacy, right, as men, the first thing we think about is sex. Right. And, you can be cool intimacy coach. That means I can be do some funky Karma Sutra, type movements. And there could be like monkey positions and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm going to be getting swings. All these images go through your head. But then when you think about true intimacy, right, that doesn't necessarily have to involve any of that. Yeah. And I wonder if there is, I'll just share, for a lot of men, for a lot of couples in general, there can be a reliance on the physical act of sex as the connection tool, the relation
Mhm.
tool. How do you relate to your partner? And if you use sex as your barrier, not your barrier, but your bridge to your partner and your connection to your partner, and that is perhaps your only gateway or the chosen gateway, what happens when that's taken away? Where is the relationship at that point?
Mm.
When, when sex isn't available, can you still be emotionally intimate with each other? So I think it's an interesting conversation to have and to see. And I know you guys made it 2.5 days, it sounds like, or 3 days. And it's interesting, right? And in transparency, my wife and I didn't make it either. But we didn't accept the challenge. We blatantly said no. No, we're not taking that challenge. We had just planned on conceiving our next child, right? We wanted to have another child, so it was counterproductive to what our goals were. And we were still given that challenge, and we just flat out said, no, we're not interested in doing this, and let's try something else. But when you look at it, and I thought about it, is why would somebody ask you that? Because I had the same reaction you did. What? No sex?
Literally,
You got to be.
I was laying back taking notes all session, very calm. And then when I heard that, I like instant like knee jerk, pen goes down, pad goes down, lean forward to the camera, like say that again.
Yeah, excuse me.
Um,
But
yeah,
but when you think about intimacy, right? And we've all had just masturbatory sex, basically, where you just wham bam, thank you, ma'am sex. It's not fulfilling. You get off, but it's just like jerking off with a partner. And then you've had like passionate sex where you walk away going, holy cow, that was amazing, connected. And that's when I think of intimacy, is how do you get to that next level physically, but also intimate in other areas where you're very connected with your partner, if your life partner that you've chosen. And I think that's where the 30-day challenge really comes in, is that ability to find ways to connect in other ways. And if you can't connect in other ways, that's telling in and of itself.
There's great feedback, isn't it? Right? If you can, because then it's a question of, well, do you both want to learn how to? If you don't, then that's a different conversation. Because if one of you does and the other one doesn't, then yeah, there's questions there. But if you both are willing to go there and learn and grow together, which is even just the act of growing together, because obviously. In working with all the men that come to us and they've tried things like therapy and counseling, talking about it, essentially, it just drives them further apart. And everything that we do with the guys to show them how to fix their marriage and reconnect with their wife without talking about it, I was really curious to see how this would play out. Because if it was going to be like a talking session, like counseling, let's say, then it wasn't going to be for me, because I know the deeper story or theme to that, if you will. But it's been really great for it not to be like that, and also for us to be in an environment where we are both leaning into the growth together, because by default it takes courage for us both to go there, and to see that courage coming out within Amelia as she goes to places, and vice versa. I think it's very bonding. It's a great thing. It's a great place to be, and I love the fact that, like you said, we are doing this when things are great, because it gives the foundation on which to lean further, and it's we both feel supported and seen as we're going in. So yeah, I'm really curious, and this is a 7-month process, so I'm really curious to see what unfolds.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. And like I said, I think this is challenge number 1 that you've been put in your plate. And I'm sure there'll be more to come on there. But I think it's really great that you guys sought this out when things were great. And this is, I think, a reminder for the guys listening. And this goes with all areas, right, of business and everything else. Is you don't have to seek help or improvement when things are bad or burning down. I think the powerful man seeks that next level when things are great too, right? You can do both, right? If things are going bad, you definitely need help, but do it before there's a problem. And I think I give both you and Amelia tons of credit for doing that in the times of good, because that's going to carry you through. You're going to hit rocky parts of a relationship. Everybody does. And this is going to give you just a next level, another layer of that solidification of your relationship and intimacy. right? And you're going to find out things you never knew about yourself, Amelia too, but things you never knew about yourself on this journey. And you guys can make a decision. Maybe you decide not to stay together. I don't know. Obviously, I think you guys will. But however, now you have the optics as you like to have, and you can make informed decisions about what's best for you. I think that's really a cool journey to be on.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to, if you've got the opportunity to improve when things are good, it's a much better place to come from, right? Because
there's
less stress involved, there's less urgency, you can take more time, you can absorb more of it that you get shared with, and you can learn. It's just a better environment to be in, right? A much better environment to be in. It's like, which team do you want to be on? The team that's at the top of the league and they're winning and they're about to win the championship, and you want to be in that dressing room, or the team that's at the bottom of the league about to get relegated? They're both still playing for big stakes, but one is going to come from a place of, they got to win, right? Because if not, they're going down. Whereas the other one, they're playing for glory. It's a very different place to be. It's a great place to build from.
Absolutely. So are you guys restarting the challenge, or are you going to just let the challenge go?
I can't let it go. I committed to it. I'm going to do it, and we'll see what happens. I've given into our advances once. I think that's it. That's enough. I can do that once. And, we all know the importance of, we all know what women sometimes like to do, right? They'll prod and poke and test to see, can I trust this guy? Is he a man of his word?
Do you think you're being tested? Consciously or subconsciously?
I think moving forwards, I probably will be. And I'm gonna stand firm, because I'm gonna see through it, and I anticipate I'm gonna get a reaction that isn't gonna be positive, but I'm gonna be a man of my word during this challenge, and I'm going to go all in and give my all and experience it, and we shall see. When do we go to Toulouse? By the way,
you're gonna be at the Alpha Reset and then Tulum. So yours is going to be a little bit longer than a 30-day challenge, my friend.
7, 14, 18,
if you're committing to it today as day one, you have slightly more than a 30-day challenge. Yours is going to be more like a 45-day challenge. That's bonus points. Think of it that way. Imagine how great it's going to be when you guys get back together.
How quick it's going to be.
There's work you can do around that. But anyway, it's such an interesting conversation to be having, because I think a lot of men can, relate to it. And plus, most people are going to be going, 30 days? You got to be kidding me. But there's guys listening to this that are married and haven't had sex with their wife in months, let alone 30 days. And that's not a voluntary challenge that they're on. They have just grown so far apart from their partner that they probably don't even want to have sex at this point with them. And, the reason I brought this challenge up and talking to you about it is, one, it's a fun story to talk about, but two, it's for the guys listening to this, is there is another level of intimacy that can be going on. And if they're finding themselves with their partner on a mandate or an involuntary 30-day challenge of their own that they've already completed against their will, you want to find a path out. Where is that intimacy for you, right? Are you forming intimacy within that relationship still? And if not, how can you do it today? I think those are important questions to ask yourself. And that intimacy, Tim, first starts with yourself. And that's one of the reasons I think that this challenge was thrown out there, is that intimacy. You need to be really in tune with yourself and be intimate with yourself. And then once you've done that, that intimacy can then go to your partner in a non-physical way first. That's going to build your bond. So when you're physically intimate, it's a whole nother level. That's kind of the icing on the cake, so to speak, or the cherry on top of the sundae. But the real meat of it is that emotional, energetic intimacy that comes back and forth between two people.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Well, thanks for sharing, man. It takes a lot of guts, and we're excited to hear about this journey that you'll be on. And I'll definitely be checking back in to see how this goes for you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it for another episode of the Powerful Man Show. If you haven't already, go over to thealphareset.com. That's thealphareset.com, where you can get another training from Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews himself, as well as an application and the opportunity to talk to one of our coaches just to see if it's a right fit. It's not just for men that are going through hard times, but this is more for the adventurous soul, someone who's a little bit more open-minded and not the average. So if that sounds like you, head over to thealphareset.com and you can fill out an application today. Until now, we'll see you next time on The Powerful Man Show.